Yeah.
Are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
Hello, hello. A little louder than expected. All right, well, everybody, Orlando Unreal community, we welcome you back for our second meetup of the year. This evening we have quite a bit to go over. We're going to be doing some introductions to some other chapter leaders that wasn't at our last meetup. But this evening we have a workshop to discuss kind of where the community is at on their development skills within Unreal. And Dr. Daria Sinyo-Goskaya is actually going to be presenting this evening. And then later on we're going to have John and Patrick from District Cinema, and then two of my developers from M3D Technologies to go over our Merge platform, which we're going to be utilizing as one of our XR hardware devices for the XR Jam that we'll have at for Unreal Fest at Full Sail University. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and bring up Kunal. Kunal is going to talk about the OMG Labs and Indianomicon.
Sure. Thanks, Matt. So thank you all for coming here. If by just a show of hands, how many of you have been here before? Okay, so half and half. This building began its life as a crematorium. Rumor has it that it is haunted, so really anything can happen. But many years later, it became UCF incubator. Then the Army took it over and conducted some top secret experiments, and the whole building is like really weird because of it. There are certain rooms that like are all blacked out. You can't affect the lights, and like all these things are happening. We're in the middle of it right now, and they're like, we don't know why the Army changed it to this or for whatever reason. But anyways, this building became Tech Hub Orlando when OMG Labs, Innovate Orlando, and the UCF incubator, we all decided to move in together, decided to be roomies. The city of Orlando wanted us to get together, along with a lot of other tech support ecosystem companies like Starter Studio or the Florida High Tech Corridor. The aim here is that there is a lot within our region for games, tech, entrepreneurship, and OMG Labs, we had our own building a couple blocks away, and it was just really hard to manage things on our own, manage an entire building by ourselves. And we grew from 2,000 square feet to 10,000 square feet to this building, which is now haunted, but has an auditorium and has many other things going for it. OMG Labs stands for Orlando Media and Gaming Laboratory. You should never say all those words, but whatever gets worked on here should be so amazing that you go, OMG, that's amazing. That's why it's stuck. But the kind of projects that people work on, generally using gaming tech, things that are in Unreal, Unity, using some kind of hardware components, but something that's using gaming immersive tech. And it can be frontier tech too, so AIs and everything. AI can be in the projects that get worked here. And this building and this group really became necessary, co-working or incubation, because of Indianomicon. By a show of hands, who here has not heard of Indianomicon? Okay, there's some of you. So Indianomicon, funny name, but it started back in 2013. And it was just the indie community, the game developers here, and we'd meet on the first Thursday of every month for years. And along the way, it shifted from just being pure indie games to games solving problems for major industry. And we started doing game jams. So weekend hackathons, 48 hours to solve some problems, but you made a game. And we have 4 jams that we do in a year. We do the Armed Forces Jam, where we have the Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, Space Force. People from that industry come and act as subject matter experts or judges, and you solve problems that maybe they can't, but game developers can because they're crazy enough. We have Mega Health Jam, where we have doctors, nurses, people in healthcare. They come and share, hey, these are problems that we have in healthcare. And again, game developers are called to solve some of these problems. They get into teams, they work with their physicians, and they create solutions. Then we have All Hallows Jam. Make scary games, and that's pretty cool. You can use anything you want. You can use VR, AR, you can use any engine that you want. there's different categories of scary things that you can build. But the aim there is, again, we're working with themed entertainment, another major industry here in Central Florida. And maybe what gets made there could become a part of the theme parks in a couple years down the line. And then lastly, but really it's the jam that kind of helped build Indienomicon, it was Indie Galactic Space Jam. So that's where we work with people from NASA, SpaceX, Blue Origin, the Space Coast. It's a huge industry, obviously, but they come here and they, again, have like challenges and problems that are going to be experienced within space, maybe things you can't do for decades in real life. But again, the game developers can build games, use real science, and be able to build these experiences for things you can't do decades or billions of dollars into the future. But these jams have been going on for many years, and every so often we add a new industry. But what happens is it makes an impact. Relationships get built. We see people find their best friends, sometimes their worst enemy, but they end up getting to know each other. They end up getting to know the sponsors. They end up getting to know each other. And that builds that scene. R&D. You get to try out like the latest and greatest equipment that maybe you can't use at work. Maybe nobody's going to pay you to try this stuff out, but you get to test things out and fail in a safe place. It helps with recruiting. There's a lot of people hiring, whether it's somebody on your team or a sponsor or something like that. You might be showcasing yourself and somebody's like, I need to hire you. That happens. And then it's a regional spotlight. The things you're doing ties in to the major industries that we have within our region. And we're kind of lucky here in Central Florida to have so many different things. Space, defense, healthcare, themed entertainment, hospitality, all these different things. And it's always going to be fun. There's always going to be, that's paramount. It's not really a lot of suit and ties there. It's a lot of fun, and that's one of the main things there. And in doing all this stuff, a lot of great food, a lot of great fun, a lot of problems getting solved. You get to know each other, and that's part of the tapestry of this community. And the thing that's great is then it gets woven into things like the Unreal Meetup. You know, for a long time, people are choosing Pepsi or Coke, Unity or Unreal. There's a whole community of people that are just working within Unreal. And I think like they didn't always have the support system that was necessary. Sometimes it would seem like there's more Unity folks, but really when you look at a lot of the projects that are being built in major industry, they're using Unreal. Especially if you're looking at themed entertainment, you're looking at select projects, you're looking at Unreal. Now that there's a meetup dedicated towards that, I think that's going to empower all these different industries that are here. It's going to empower all the game jams that are happening throughout the year. So if you guys hadn't heard of Indienomicon or you're not attending those jams, what I'm hopeful for is that you guys will. And then that will be another opportunity to rub shoulders with major industry and the skills and things that you learn at these meetups, the people that you get to know here, maybe you'll be on a team with them. Maybe you'll win some prize money. Maybe you'll have a best friend. Maybe you'll meet your mortal enemy. All these things are possible. But if you have any questions about that, come see me. If you have a company, if you're working on something compelling, you need help building it, you maybe want to work at OMG Labs, be here in downtown, also come see me, and you can schedule a tour. So that's it for now, and then I'm going to hand it over back to Pat.
Thanks, Bernal. So that being said, you know, that's a very valid point about, you know, the community that's here in Central Florida. The new chapter leaders and myself have been working very closely over the last month and a half to 2 months with Epic and Unreal to kind of, you know, see where we can get their support for the community here in Central Florida. And what we've discovered is Orlando has the largest Unreal community in the entire chapter, or in the entire nation. We are the largest chapter. So far, we have over 200 registered members. Last March, we had over 70 members show up for the first event. Tonight, we had over 50 sign up for the first workshop that we're offering. So outside of what we're doing for education, like Noel may mention, the game jams. One of the ones that we have coming up, as I discussed earlier, was that we have an XR jam that's going to be happening at Full Sail University at the end of May. So right now, this is just kind of the beginning of getting the chapter back up and running, and the things that we want to offer, and what the community leaders want to kind of support you guys on is, building this community to really kind of be the staple for, Epic and Unreal across the country. So that being said, we're going to go ahead and get started with our workshop. I'm going to go ahead and ask Dr. Daria to come up and present. So.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Noel. Hello, dear community of Unreal Orlando chapter. It's really good to see you here tonight, and I'm very excited to present this educational part of our activities here for you tonight. So I wanted to make sure this information is valuable to you. So it's very much you-focused, very much learner-focused. So tonight we're going to talk about some foundations of Unreal Engine, kind of also have an ice-breaking activity to understand where you guys are, what your aspirations are, and I'll talk about some newest features in Unreal Engine 5. I'm a professor at Jacksonville University of Game Design and Development, and I'm also a business owner of Perso Studio XR development company here in Orlando. So let's get started on the agenda. Again, first I'll talk about, we'll have an icebreaking activity just to get to know each other. And then I'll talk about our curriculum that we came up with for a period of that will take place very soon, that will start very soon, and it will be a 12-month effort from our part to help you guys get to your goals. I'll talk about the Unreal Engine interface a little bit for just kind of a brush up on some concepts, and we'll talk about some features at the end. So the icebreaking activity, I'll start in a second. You will see questions about the Unreal Engine, why, and the how of the Unreal Engine. We'll talk about the blueprints, and we'll talk about your understanding of some newest features in Unreal. So let me just go to this activity. So you guys will have to connect with your phones for this activity. Let me try to probably via QR code is going to be the easiest way to connect. You can also follow this link. Type up this link here for this quiz. So it says for now 0. Okay, I see Juan joined. I assume you're the one. Okay, so let's see. Let's just wait for the people to join. And we'll start this virtual conversation that's going to bring us all together tonight. Okay. More people? Good. Okay. I believe everyone is here, joined me, and I'm going to start the session in a second. Just make sure I can open up. Okay. Let's see where. A second. Where's my question? Oops. Let's go back for a second. I hope you will still be connected. Let me go back. Can you see the questions?
Yes.
Okay. I guess you're You're just completing them at your own pace. Oh, okay. Well, it works a little bit different from a Kahoot, but it's a new tool I'm exploring. So let's see how it works. But definitely, this information, it's not only gonna help you formulate your goals and understanding, but it's also going to help us on the back end after this meetup to understand how to help you better with your learning goals with the Unreal Engine. I thought I would see, yes. I hope it's still gonna be. Oh, it's live. Is it live? Uh-oh. Can you guys see it? Is it still working? Okay. Yeah. Is it still? You guys are in the quiz?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Well, let me just. Okay. How do I go back to my quiz? Full report.
It's still going.
Okay. I don't know what happened. You guys are good?
Yeah, we can see our results.
Okay. So let me see my. Okay. Well, let me go back to you for a sec. Sessions. Full report. Okay, I'm just gonna check the full report here. Okay. So the questions were basically to look at your familiarity with the tool and your goals. So most of you replied correctly to the question about the blueprints in Unreal. Let's see the word cloud here. It's going to be generous. So this is your world cloud, and it's a beginning kind of to a visualization of what associations you have with Unreal. And I see a lot of people are talking about AAA games, powerful. So when the words are bigger on this word cloud, it means that more people answered the same, said the same words about it. So some interesting conversations happen when I see some more technical part, when people say nodes, Fortnite quality. So it's definitely telling me about you guys that you are you're familiar with Unreal and you're very you kind of technically savvy in this with this and familiar with this engine, thinking about rendering, adding actors and things like that. Some of you have said complicated, so I guess there's also this challenge factor involved. So definitely very interesting to look at this data. So yeah, when we look at the data here, it says most of you have replied to the questions correctly, and it tells me that you are all at some more advanced level. Let me know here in person if I'm making correct assumptions. Yes? Okay, great. Great. I love when people are showing some action in the back of the room, because usually, sometimes it happens when people just like zone out. So it's great. Okay, so we have some data here. We will take it back after this meeting and work on it to make sure this workshop series will be useful to you. So now, let's start from the first slide first. So let's talk about the goals for the workshop. Since I found out that most of you are familiar with Unreal and working in Unreal, utilizing it for your technical and creative solutions, we are offering 3 different levels of workshops in Unreal, for 3 different levels of workshops. So the first one, and they're going to go like, you will have to look at our schedule, and when you join those workshops, you will know which level the workshop is for. So for example, if week 1, we have level 1 beginner, and week 2 will be intermediate, and week 3 will be advanced, and then week 4 will be beginner again. So those will go kind of asynchronously, and it will be a 12-month curriculum for the workshops here. So this workshop will be catered towards people who maybe come from a graphic designer background, or maybe they used to use Unity in the past, now they want to use Unreal. So people from various industries and with different skills. So we will work on some tutorials to get familiar with user interface, blueprints, visual scripting, understanding how they can use C++ and what skills in C++ they will need. And this will be basically a beginner level curriculum. Every time, also for every level, there will be a project, capstone project at the end of the series of workshops. So you will come out from our meetings with an actual project that you can put on your portfolio. Level 2, it will be for intermediate developers. We will focus mostly on game development, but if you have requests for some cinematic features, things like that, we will add that as well. This will, for intermediate learners, it will be advanced blueprint, scripting, C++, introduction, and working with C++ to optimize certain features and mechanics. We will work with sound design, integration, level design. We will also have people on board, educators who will join us and teach you topics on storytelling and important topics on animation. So those will not be directly in Unreal per se, but those will be complemental for your development, because as you know, as game designers, it's art and science. So a lot of these things are kind of important to balance. So we will have that as well for, especially for intermediate and advanced learners. And we will also work with environment art, promotional graphics, and multiplayer fundamentals, so understanding networks and things like that. The capstone project will be a playable prototype, platformer puzzle game, basically something tangible that you can use and showcase to future employers or collaborative teams. Finally, advanced Unreal learners. Do I have any advanced learners here who identify as? Okay, I do have some. Okay, great. So for you guys, it will be more commercialized, commercial level projects, more polished projects. We'll talk about some advanced AI and behavioral trees, procedural generation, and modular design. We'll talk about cutscenes and sequencer, enhanced multiplayer, online systems, ray tracing, publishing on different platforms such as Steam, Epic Store, and others. So for your challenge at the end of this series will be to create a polished, industry standard game that also will be, we will also have for each level, we will have provide peer feedback from industry leaders here in Orlando. So it's definitely, even if you're working as an indie designer, you won't work in your own bubble. You will work with professionals who can always provide you feedback and make your workflow more smooth and also more sellable and to future employers and maybe personal business projects. So this is our curriculum. Any questions about the curriculum, guys? Yes?
Me, wasn't there supposed to be a level 4? You mentioned that there were 4 levels that would rotate.
No, I said, no, I kind of gave an example of like level 1 starts week 1, then level 2, then level 3, and then week 4 is going to be level 1 again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's not like you, for example, you're level 3, you don't have to come to level 1 meetings. So you will look at your schedule and you will say, okay, these are my days when I come to these meetups to work on my project with the guys who are able to actually help me with those features that I'm working on. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yes.
Regarding like the actual like meetings, I guess how do you guys plan to showcase the content that you're like teaching to the students?
We will have demos, so kind of like a tutorial style, demo style, and also lab. It's going to be like a lab session style. So for example, you come with your computer, with your own computer, and an educator, like for example, I will show you some stuff today, so you can just follow along. Or if you work on something, like you went ahead, or you don't want to work on a specific thing, you can later on after my demo, you can ask me or someone else to help you out. So in the beginning, it will be a demo, maybe like 20 minutes, 30 minutes from your educator that day. Yeah. Yes.
What's like the time frame of each level? So like how long will each level take?
So we're anticipating, again, we will look at the data that you provided tonight, and we will plan in more detail. We will be posting that information with the schedule. For now, we're thinking 6 weeks for each level. So that's kind of our timeline. And it may vary, maybe more, probably not less, but something like that. Yeah. Yes.
And I take it all these classes are going to be here, or can we attend it virtually?
Well, we focus on the virtual presence as well. So it's going to be hybrid. So if you're not in person, you can always connect virtually. Of course, from my experience, and let me know if you feel the same way or if you disagree. But my experience is that it's usually, even if you work on your own project in a lab setting, when you're around other developers and designers, it's usually better for your learning. But again, like we know that developers also like to work at home by themselves, so it's an option. Yes. Any questions?
Where would you host the in-person classes?
In person, oh right, thank you so much. We'll probably do, depending on the venue that we're provided, so we will let you know in advance on the venue. I'm not sure. Maybe Matt will be able to answer that later, but this question, I can't tell you right away. Yes?
I
if I'm unavailable to attend a session, will there be any recordings so that I could access?
Absolutely, yes. There will be recordings as well. Any questions? Yes?
Is there going to be like an entrance fee or any prerequisites that you guys are going to require for people to attend these?
No, there's no fee for this. Yes. Any other questions? How are we doing on time?
You got great time.
Okay. Anyone else? Don't be shy. Yes?
Yeah, where are you guys posting the schedule for these?
We have our Discord channel. We also have social, we're present on all social media outlets. So that's where you will be seeing information about the educational part as well.
Hi, so I'm interested in developing tools and plugins. Is that anywhere in your descriptions for this stuff?
It will be probably the advanced level. Yes. Anyone else? Okay. Well, don't be shy. We still, Matt said we have time. Okay. Well, again, we're just getting to know you guys and understand where you are. Because again, I was coming here without a clear understanding of your skill set. So I wanted to have that survey, and I wanted you to connect with me tonight just to kind of understand how we can plan better. But yes, this is an overview of our vision for the educational part of the Unreal Orlando. Okay, so let's get to actual Unreal Engine and talk a little bit about the UI. I think I have a little bit of time, just 5 minutes or so. I'm just gonna open up the engine here on this computer, provided by M3D Labs. Is it Labs or just M3D?
Technology, but that's all right.
Okay, M3D Technology. Thank you so much. My sponsor for tonight. So again, as I understand, most of you are familiar with the Unreal Engine. I have downloaded the latest version for Unreal. It's 5.5 to show you some features today. So that's what the version I'm going to launch. So again, whoever is a beginner, you want to get started, you have to create an account with Epic Games and download the version you need. And one quick disclosure. Do you guys have the machine, the correct, I would say, the right specification to work in Unreal Engine, or you're just, okay, so that crowd over there and behind, they're all equipped, they're all advanced. We know now, at least. Okay. Is anyone, so we will be posting information about what specifications would be best to download the engine to be able to run all the, your projects. But yes, you will need a gaming computer with a specific graphic card. I can tell you right away. Maybe, does anybody know what graphic card is preferred right off from the top of your head? Okay. Yeah, well, we'll be posting that info later. So anyways, so I have so you can create a new project here, basically by just selecting the location and opening the project, changing the name, whatever. But since most of you are already familiar with Unreal Engine, and for the sake of time, I'm gonna open a project I already have. So you will click the browse, and you will find a project. If you have something already with the Unreal logo, open it up, load it up. Again, sometimes, especially when you first download Unreal Engine, it takes a little bit of time to process everything. So I hope everything compiles pretty quickly here, because I already demoed it at home and made sure everything works. So just a couple of things. I'll talk a little bit about the UI here and some of the features. So, where's my name? Where's my project? Wait. Yes. Who's working with the new features, by the way? Yes? Okay, which ones?
Motion mapping.
Awesome. Anyone working with the night? Yes, okay. Anyone working with Lumen? Okay, great. Anyone working with Megalite? Okay, so Megalite. I'm trying to open my project. Why can't I open my project? What's going on here? So those are the three I was going to show you today. And the Megalite is actually the one. I think I might need some help from Seth. Seth, are you there? I'm trying to open up my project. It's not loading.
It's not loading?
No.
Okay.
It started to load, but then like it stops. So yeah. I'm not sure this is the one, my present one.
Oh, you want the present one?
Yes, 5.5, because I want to show the Megalite.
Okay.
But it's like it opened and then I closed. Because I did the browse project and just.
Just loaded directly.
That's what I was doing with nothing. So Megalite is the latest feature from, like, you have to have the Unreal 5.5 to have the Megalite. So that's why I was asking if anybody's working with this, with that feature.
So this is the regular my project here.
Okay, I think it's good.
Is this the right one?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Let me just check. Yeah, because I wanted to do, so a little bit of interface. You got it, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, just a couple of seconds here. So for the interface, your main thing is going to be the content drawer. It used to be content browser. It's content drawer now. And actually, this is not the project I wanted. So this is not exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
It didn't opening and it keeps crashing.
Yeah, it keeps.
All right.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You need a powerful machine. So for the sake of time, maybe we can actually do a demo, like next time then? I don't know.
Maybe, I mean, if we can do the demo now, let me see if I can get it to go, because it might just be 5.5. I haven't used 5.5 in this machine yet. So.
I've done it. I did a demo.
You did it earlier?
Yeah. So anyways,
give me a second.
yeah, so we'll try. If not, we'll leave it for the next time. And definitely,
We could try maybe making a video demo and posting it up later.
yes, maybe we can do that
Okay, yeah,
for the sake of time.
Crashed.
Yes.
Yeah, no, 5.5 is a bullshit. Why is it bullshit?
Well, technical difficulties. And good thing we're among developers, and we know when things crash last minute when you don't expect. Okay, so we will. I'll record a demo. I'll share it with you guys after the meeting. The demo was especially because I know like at least half of you are already like good to go in terms of understanding the Unreal UI. The front row seems to be more on the intermediate beginner side. Right? So again, I'll record the demo. I will talk about just some UI elements, where to look for what folders, how to look at the details of your elements on the screen, all the terms, and then I'll show a few features like Lumen, Megalite, and what was the other one? The Night. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
so, yeah. Anyways, yes.
At the end of this meeting, are you going to put like a little QR code or something so we can join the Discord? Or
Yeah, there's actually a QR code at the very last slide for you guys to join the Discord.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, thank you so much, guys. It was great to meet you all. I hope to see you in the future learning sessions. And yeah, if you need anything, just let me know via Discord or email, whatever. Thank you.
All right. So we're going to take like 5 minutes. If you guys got to use the restroom or get a refreshment, please, by all means, go ahead and do that. And then we're going to have both M3D Technologies and District Cinema come up here and talk about the Merge platform.
I tested it like 3 times.
It's always different. It's always different. It's always different.
So it's okay. And this is the first one I heard.
All of a sudden, you're going.
So I'm like,
But yeah, you can.
so I tried a different one. This is like, so again, like,
Like this is the first shot. So it was this stuff with next year. I remember when you got this. Yeah.
I did like demo.
But now the appearance is like
all the settings and like that. I was set up and I started the animation.
Everything. Well, the merge set up great and then we get the day otherwise. So here's what
At least like this is a nice no, I can't. Maybe before next meeting. You and like I we do like the and I kind of prepare it all.
A lot of like a handful of very interesting.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm gonna like black out my stuff.
Let's wait till after.
Oh, okay. I have a project.
So yeah, I've never been before. I would keep it, and it's like
I was just playing around with Wi-Fi.
So and then we'll see what's every time. So now sit there and radio and then we can record it and see what's the start. I think
well, I'm telling you, like, workshops today, there's also like,
they don't know what's
yeah, so
now this time it's kind of generated feedback. So I had to yeah, because I didn't want to really get this one for launch.
and that should be good. And then you let me finish this. I'll make sure I'll write everything.
Yes, that project, and I'm telling you, okay, I need to download the Wi-Fi. So it's like download it, it's fine. I needed like
My guess is we get the 5.4 project. Now we're using 5.4. So some of these people are using 5.5. My first step is just going to be a couple things, start fresh. If that doesn't work, then there's the need for machines to move to 5.5 and then try to get it out. It might just be like great. I think they can look very videos like a proper set of that can
I got the cars on my that showed
I was going to have that conversation.
Actually, making it happen.
No, it's wait for everybody.
Oh yeah. That has to be minimum. Usually work where they don't own companies they take pride in them. And I try to take that and then translate that in. But like I came into 20 mark, we get a different stage where he usually cares there. How do you maintain that same level of inclusion and humans and like engaging that almost forward? So that's a small let me see the things they're ready for they're asset here. I can show you
Getting out of more what I I'll kind of manage the slides, and I've got to adapt in the past, and I figured versions of Marcus, like on that it takes cover gestures, and then wow, EA.
Yeah.
What you said, well,
I got into that.
my side, like,
I know,
guys,
I didn't get
now
paid, so I was,
on.
yeah, tomorrow maybe because I'm gonna go over
So one of the last things that we actually want to kind of present to you guys tonight is a piece of XR hardware that both M3D Technologies and District Cinema have been developing with for over almost about a year now. This is actually going to be one of the XR hardware devices that we're going to be offering, as I made mention, at the XR Jam that we're going to have at Full Sail University. So M3D Technologies, again, I'm Matthew Hogan, founder and CEO, and then I have one of my lead developers here, Seth. Dave, you met him at the front door. And then this is John, CEO and founder of District Cinema, and one of his lead developers, Patrick. So that being said, my company, we've actually been evaluating XR hardware for over the last 5 years. So we started off with omnidirectional treadmills, Tesla suit, haptic gloves, VR headsets, and trying to figure out how to integrate all of these to try to create the Ready Player One system. That being said, one of the things that we've discovered is these are all wearables. These are all things that you have to put on. And it's not only that you have to put them on, which is a barrier of entry, but then it's sanitizing all of these things. So last year, collectively, as we were kind of scratching our heads on how do we, advance XR and how do we get the next level of engagement, we actually started working on a new platform called Merge. So I'm going to kind of hand it over to both the team over here and let them kind of introduce you guys to what the product is and what you guys are going to be experiencing at the end of May.
Hi guys. So yeah, some intro to District Cinema, because District Cinema is actually not a Orlando-based company, but we're in a hybrid between Orlando and Tampa as our main headquarters. So District Cinema's background has mainly been on the virtual production side of development. So that's where we use Unreal Engine purely for its quality, purely for its photorealism within virtual production, within media and entertainment. So those are a lot of shows that you see, like The Mandalorian, a lot of the Star Wars, one of those big LED volume stages. So what Merge is really doing is taking a lot of the tech that's been around in VP and games and mobile and bringing it to a location-based entertainment. So like exactly what Matt said, how can we make entertainment easier for people to understand and just super intuitive, where anyone can walk in and it just is immediately intuitive. So with Merge, we're using technology like the LED wall that comes from virtual production, markerless motion capture, which comes from your standard anim background with animation and VFX, and then a lot of other tools within Unreal Engine in terms of like using environments, plugin. Yeah, so here's an example of the markerless motion capture system. It works basically by using RGB cameras that are around the user, and it kind of scales skeleton to them directly. And there's a lot of use cases for this. This is an example of a use case from a medical use case of there's a charting system where we can actually even get analytical data from the system as well. So it's not just like a cool wow factor, but there's actual utility to it as well. So here are some examples for like martial arts demos that we were doing, having some people come by and do judo, jiu-jitsu, and you can see how well it tracks it all with no markers. Not standard to your typical, suits where you have all those markers on you, and you have to be careful where when you interact with each other, those might fall off or maybe occluded. Matt or Seth, you can kind of talk about the markers.
So obviously, with the system of Merge, we can basically pick up users and put them through into the Unreal Engine by live streaming it through as a live link plugin. So you can see here, we're actually taking that data from the Merge and we're putting it into the system there and just streaming their skeletons through to Unreal. And it's capable of tracking as many users as we can get cameras for. It's the smallest space we did was a 8x8 with about, 4 cameras, 6 cameras?
4 to 6.
Yeah, and that's able to get about 2-3 people comfortably, but we can in theory scale this up to the point where we could get almost an entire basketball team on a basketball court with enough cameras. For the game jam, we're probably just gonna have, we're gonna do like a Pico or medium for that one, I think.
We're looking at possibly 2 systems.
2 systems? Okay. So we're gonna have 2 of the systems put up. We could probably do about 2 users, maybe 3, for the actual games that you guys will be developing with that in the XR. You can see here it is capable of having multiple users at the same time going through. And then when those characters come into the Unreal Engine, you're able to actually interact with the environment. So you see with the Kaiju experience we developed, you can use the chaos systems on the buildings, and the liveling skeleton is actually able to interact and destroy the buildings. Same with our soccer goalie experience we developed, where you can actually kick the ball around. As long as the skeleton has a physics asset attached to it, it can interact with the environment live as it's simulating. And then you actually hear all of the things, but Patrick talked about the gesture controls as well.
Hey everyone, this is gesture controls. So before you kind of saw in the previous slide, it was basic collisions. So just you could kick stuff, kick the ball and everything. But here we have an example of gesture control. So right now it's on the top left, you can see a kind of push gesture. So it's a dynamic gesture that you do, and that shoots paintball. You can also do stomps. You can stomp and bring up a wall or anything you want. You can do swipe gestures, so you can do many controls. And we have a plugin that lets you just easily plug it into your game and just use it at auto scales to your height, to your skeleton, and it should be just plug and play.
To touch on the last slide, actually, with the gestures, how many of you guys are familiar with like VR games like Rumble, where you have gestures and they're dynamic and you're doing some type of avatar 1v1 fighting or PvE fighting? That kind of inspiration behind doing a dynamic gesture system is how can people interact with virtual worlds that make it feel like it's their own. So a lot of the gestures are, how can we do those same gestures that work when you have your Quest headset on, but then also make it feel super easy to use. So that's why a lot of the gestures are like avatar style, stomp on the ground, get rocks and being able to throw or airbend and windbend and that sort of thing. And then I guess Pat can talk about this.
Shoot a meteor at targets, so that's kind of like the idea of avatar. You're controlling fireballs. So, yeah. Oh, actually, this also has end display working with it. So that's another thing that we're using from first production. If you kind of notice, as you're moving the camera around, you're changing the perspective of what's being rendered. And by doing that, you can kind of have like a parallax shift to where it almost looks like a window into the actual game itself. So that's based on head tracking, so it just changes based on your head. So that only works for one person at a time, so if you have another person on the right, it might look a little weird, but it's cool for that one person.
We are working on a 2-person, the split screen.
Split screen.
Split screen's coming out. So this is actually pre-merged projects. These are probably chugging because it's Canva's trying to load them all at once. Yeah, so this was actually a project for an install for a client that we did in South Florida. They're a actual medical and surgical tools company, but they do a lot of their creative development internally, where they have a VP stage, or actually 2 VP stages. One is a standard curved LED wall that's traditional for like the Mandalorian style shoots, and then the one you kind of see on the right is a holodeck where you have actual like all surrounding LED walls. The floors, LED, rugged LED, where you can even drive a car up into it, and then the 3 LED walls surrounding you. So there's an example of some prior technology that we were R&Ding with that allowed you to have 4 cameras around the room, and then you could see yourself as a digital double. And what's cool about what's on the floor is that you could even draw a marquee around the user. So it's almost like Madden or FIFA, where when you select a user, you can see exactly where you are, and the system's aware of your position. So it's just cool. Like, we were just messing around. You can see Patrick there dancing and seeing this person. Yeah. And then here's the same system, but used on a bigger LED wall. Just this was an earlier system that was using cameras that are actually used a lot in agricultural automation, but just to get the idea of like, this is what your digital double would look like. This is actually like a remade environment of John Wick 4, I think Parabellum, but just a cool cyberpunk theme of like, this is the cool tech you can stream via live link into Unreal Engine.
All right, so next month when we do our next meetup, we'll probably go into more technical details about how this is going to be used from prep for the game jam. We just kind of wanted to show it to you guys, get you guys started thinking about stuff you can make with it, stuff you can do with it. We'll go ahead and open up the questions to the floor, but we have the last slide here. So there is that QR code for our Discord and LinkedIn, as well as for M3D and District Cinema sites. We'll go ahead and take questions for a few minutes before open.
Well, before we get right into those, so that's some of the things that the guys touched on is Merge itself. It's essentially you are the controller, right? Like there's no wearables. You don't have to have any other motion controllers. You are the controller based upon the gestures. So not only are you guys going to be building content for Merge, but Merge will also allow you to build content for other platforms because it is a motion capture system. So you can also get animations for all of your other characters. So if you want to build something for a VR headset, right, or for a desktop and you need animations, you'll be able to utilize Merge during the XR Jam to do and build those animations. So that's going to be the option. You're either going to build content for Merge and create your own game, which Patrick and John will have all of the gesture plugins already pre-made for you guys. So we'll have a list of those already out for you. And then Seth and Dave will be able to kind of sit you guys on the live link and then also how to build the content specifically within Unreal. If you are not, or if you're not going to build something for Merge, but want to utilize Merge to build for a VR headset, we'll show you how to use it as a motion capture platform as well. So I just wanted to touch base on that, but this is what we're going to be having at the end of May as one of the devices that you guys are going to create content for or use. So, questions? All right, yes, absolutely.
Does this technology only work with Unreal, or are you thinking of using it with Unity?
It's engine agnostic. Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, we're really engine agnostic, and also the tools are agnostic as well. So the tools that we have that are doing markerless motion capture, it's not just that one tool. It's not just markerless motion capture. It's also lidars. How can you make the screen itself a touch display? So we're kind of tool agnostic and engine agnostic. So with the particular tech that you saw, there are SDKs and plugins for Unity as well, or MATLAB or Mobu, whatever your preference is. There's, I believe, a plugin coming as well out as well for Blender. If you're like a Blender person who wants to do there, yeah.
That's me. No, I'm just saying I love Blender.
Nice.
Yeah.
You're in good company.
Yes, yes, you are.
Yep.
So, at this is the jam only for VR or Merge projects, or are there going to be categories for like non-VR projects there too?
We're still making that determination, but right now it's either going to be Merge or it'll be XR hardware essentially. So we'll have that list out for May's meetup on what will be available.
Any other questions?
So for that Merge software, is it just for like purely live, or can you record?
You can record, yes. It is a full motion capture system. We've actually done sessions before where we did about 15 takes in about a half hour, 45 minutes, and had them all exported out very quickly.
One of our use cases, I don't know if you guys had a chance to go to it's Halloween last year. What Mitch's project?
Yeah, the Otherverse.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called the Otherverse Containment. It was a location-based VR, room scale VR, where basically you had 4 players. Was it with the dive bar across the street?
It was, yeah. It was on the independent bar just across.
Yeah, independent bar just across, where 4 people at a time put on a VR headset. You're all networked in together. And it was just a really cool experience where, there was a world where, it's an apocalypse going on or alien infestation, and you kind of had to escape with your friends, and all the in-game animations through the NPCs were all shot with the same tech. Go ahead.
So, how does this relate, I guess, to because is the XR like game jam application also connected to the UEFN with Unreal?
So we're talking with Unreal right now about that, and one of the things that we're looking to do is at least not only get you guys exposure through the local community, because it is going to be a gaming competition, but some of the other things that we're working on is making sure that we can get those winners on the showroom floor for Unreal Fest.
Okay.
So.
And, sorry to cut you off. Has there been any other updates regarding like baiting?
So there's going to be 2 jams that are going to be happening simultaneously at Full Sail. So Full Sail already has their Unreal Jam that's taking place, which I believe is only for Full Sail students. The reason why we are doing an XR Jam adjacent to that is because we want to open it up to the community. So the chapter leaders right now are working with Unreal Fest to basically work out either tickets, discounts, or possibly a booth space. So we'll have those updates before next meetup on the 22nd. So May 22nd is when we're shooting for our next meetup. Essentially every 3rd Thursday is when we'll be doing our Unreal chapter meetups every month. But by May 22nd, we'll have a whole onslaught of updates for you guys regarding tickets, what hardware devices we'll be having at the XR Jam, and then, our support from actually Epic and Unreal to the chapter. So.
Question for you. Are you UE fan? You mentioned UE fan.
The reason why I mentioned it is because
actually just announced this past 3DC, if you attended the past 3DC, and then Vicon has a new markerless system. We are talking to them actually about doing demos with that for a event out in LA. But yeah, so Vicon markerless, we're again agnostic to the technology, and it's more about what's the right technology for the right application. So yeah, that's something we're planning to expand to is Vicon Opti, and then also just other RGB cameras. Yep.
Sorry, I just wanted to get clarification. I think it was established at the last meetup that the jam itself doesn't have an entry fee, but I think I heard somebody say otherwise.
Entry fee for the XR Jam?
Yeah, the one coming up in May.
I couldn't speak on what Full Sail's Unreal Jam requirements are, but I've talked with the chapter leaders. I don't think we're planning on doing an entry fee for that. So if things change, I'll let you know by the 22nd. But what we're hoping to do is have this open to the general, to the community members. Your only fee essentially would be is that you have to be a member for the Unreal chapter. But what we're trying to basically, as the chapter leaders, is make sure that these events are funded through either sponsorship or grant initiatives, because this is how we're supporting our community.
So do we have to go through any special sign-up process to be considered a member, as the fact that we're on the Discord or not?
You got to do it on a full moon, and I mean, there's a link that will. I mean, do you have it up there?
Yeah, I got the QR codes for Discord and LinkedIn.
Yeah, so the QR codes are up there to get sign up for the social channels, but then there's also a link if you just type in Unreal Orlando chapter, and you can actually sign through there as well.
I don't know if it was just my phone, but when I tried the LinkedIn QR code, it said that this group name.
That's weird. Yeah, if you just look up Unreal Orlando in LinkedIn, you should find it there.
Any other questions? Well, then that. Oh, yeah,
just
one. Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know if you guys mentioned it or if I missed it. The XR Jam, that's going to be in Full Sail.
Yes.
And there's 2 separate jams going at the same time.
So the Full Sail already is working closely with Epic and Unreal to do just an Unreal Jam.
Unreal
that's
Jam?
That's already being hosted there. And I believe it's only for Full Sail students. So that kind of excluded the rest of the community, whether you were a UCF student or industry person already with utilizing the...
And how are you guys keeping separate? Like, are you guys in a completely different area, or is it going to be like
we'll have all updates on the 22nd.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll be on the pool side.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
There's a river of hot lava that separates the two.
Right. Seeking job opportunities or need assistance with that. That's the other thing that the chapter wants to offer is we know how many developers are here in our local community, and we know that, sometimes you guys are just doing freelance work and trying to find that next gig opportunity. So that's the other thing that the chapter is going to help you guys support on. But other than that, we really do appreciate you coming out this evening. So thank you.
Thank you.